What if I told you that according to a federal committee, physical therapists are not considered professionals? What if I told you that the Department of Education is proposing rules that could strip physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech-language pathologists, advanced practice nurses, audiologists, and physician associates of their professional status? And what if I told you that this change could restrict student loans, gut the future workforce, and undermine decades of progress in professional autonomy? Today, we're not staying quiet. Today's episode is about drawing a line in the sand. Stay with me. Welcome to Your Practice, Your Money, where clinical success meets financial freedom. I'm your host, Dr. Dimitrios Kostopoulos, and today we need to have a serious talk, not a gentle one, not a neutral one. Because the Department of Education's RISE committee recently proposed a classification that would redefine the Doctor of Physical Therapy degree and dozens of other healthcare doctoring degrees as simply graduate degrees, not professional degrees. Let me be very clear. This is outrageous. It is misinformed. It is damaging, and it is completely unacceptable. Enough is enough. So what is this proposal claims? According to this committee, medicine, a profession. Pharmacy, a profession. Law, a profession. But physical therapy, nursing, audiology, occupational therapy, speech-language pathology, physician associates, apparently not professions. This is a statement so disconnected from reality, it could be laughable if it were not dangerous. What this would do, if enacted, this proposal would limit student loan availability for DPT students. It would restrict federal borrowing caps, increase out-of-pocket burden, deter future students from entering the field of physical therapy, worsen national shortages in musculoskeletal and rehabilitation care, and directly undermine patient access. This is not a small bureaucratic change. This is a deliberate weakening of the physical therapy workforce at a moment when healthcare already cannot meet demand. The APTA's response and why they are right. The American Physical Therapy Association has called the proposal misguided, misinformed, contrary to congressional intent, harmful to the public, and damaging to the future of healthcare. And they are right. APTA's president, Dr. Kyle Covington, wrote, quotes, "Everything we do begins with strengthening the ability of physical therapists to serve their patients and communities. Our advocacy on these issues remains unwavering," end of quotes. And it needs to be unwavering because what is being suggested is not only wrong, it is insulting. Let's be blunt. The United States already faces a shortage of approximately 15,000 physical therapists every single year. This is not speculation. This is documented ongoing and growing. And now, in the middle of healthcare access crisis, the Department of Education is proposing a rule that would make it harder for students to get the loans they need to become physical therapists in the first place. Think about that. You are drowning in shortages, and their solution is to tighten the pipeline even further. Student loan restriction equals fewer physical therapists, which equals a collapsed workforce. And let's say it plainly. If students cannot finance a doctoral level education, they will not enter the profession, period. The DPT is expensive because it is doctoral, it's vigorous, clinical, and essential. Restricting loans means fewer students admitted, fewer graduates, fewer licensed clinicians, fewer PTs entering the workforce, and less access to care for millions of Americans. To suggest that the DPT is not a professional degree while simultaneously expecting doctoral level training is absurd. This proposal will scare students away. It will increase scarcity and create a healthcare disaster. And if that weren't enough, 2025 introduced a new requirement that H-1B visas for foreign-trained physical therapists must demonstrate a $100,000 fee in order for a physical therapist to be sponsored. This was a massive blow to small private practices that rely, many of them, in international physical therapy talent to fill shortages that American schools cannot meet. Before this rule, international PTs helped offset these shortages. Small practices could hire that type of talent competitively. Clinics remained staffed and patients received care. After that rule, many small clinics cannot afford that inflated H-1B new requirement. Large hospital systems, though, can and will. The PT workforce becomes even more inaccessible. Private practices are left out in the cold. Now, add the RISE proposal restricting student loans on top of the H-1B barrier, and that doubles the problem. It shrinks the pipeline of US students, it blocks international talent, and funnels PTs directly into the large health systems that can afford that. This is not just misguided policy. It creates systemic imbalance and destabilizes the future of private practice. Who benefits from this? Not patients, not physical therapists, not patient communities. Let's be honest about the consequences. Large hospital systems, mega healthcare corporations, entities with lobbying power, and giant payroll budgets. They can easily absorb the new H-1B regulation. They can weather workforce shortages by pulling from smaller talent pool. They benefit when private practices struggle, close, or are forced to sell. But smaller clinics, independent physical therapy owners, communities that rely on local outpatient care, they suffer. This proposal, combined with immigration restrictions, pushes private practice physical therapists into a corner. And when private practices weaken, patients lose access, especially in rural and underserved areas. Let's call it just what it is. This is not just a loan classification issue. This is a structural threat that reduces PT workforce supply, it increases corporate consolidation, harms community healthcare, and undermines the autonomy and identity of our profession. It is wrong, it is harmful, and it cannot stand. But physical therapists are doctoring professionals. Let's spell it out plainly. Physical therapists complete a multi-year of education, at least 5, if not 7 or 8 years of education. They hold a doctorate, clinical doctorate degree. They pass rigorous national board exams. They practice under state licensure. They evaluate, diagnose movement dysfunction, and manage complex patient conditions. They serve as primary access providers in many states. Many perform advanced diagnostics, including EMG, nerve conduction, and musculoskeletal ultrasound. They contribute directly to reducing opioids, reducing surgeries, and lowering healthcare costs. This is the definition of a profession. Anything less is willful ignorance. Now, let's talk for a moment about diagnostics. If there is any group that exemplifies the highest standards of professionalism in healthcare, it is diagnostic-trained physical therapists. These physical therapists, they perform electrodiagnostic testing, they conduct MSK ultrasound, interpret clinical findings, collaborate with physicians, influence medical decision-making. They identify red flags, contribute to differential diagnosis, practice with precision, autonomy, and accountability. Diagnostics-trained physical therapists embody clinical expertise, responsibility, and professional judgment. To claim they are not professionals would be absurd if it weren't a threat. Diagnostics is not a side skill. It is one of the clearest demonstrations of physical therapist doctoring level capability. Why this matters, especially you, to private practitioners. This proposal isn't about education. It is about the future of your clinic. A weakened pipeline of physical therapists means more staffing shortages, higher salaries due to scarcity of staff, fewer trained clinicians, more burnout, reduced access, and downward pressure on private practices. And for students, more debt, fewer options, and potential career-ending financial barriers. This is not acceptable. Not for the profession, not for the public, not for healthcare. So what can you do? APTA has activated the Patient Action Center, where you can send messages to Congress with one click. Go, do it, share it, mobilize your staff, your patients, and your colleagues. Go to the APTA's website for that. This is not the moment to sit back. This is the moment to protect our profession. At HADS, we are unequivocal. Physical therapy is a profession. Diagnostic-trained PTs are doctoring professionals, and the future of healthcare depends on strengthening, not diminishing our role. We stand ready to support, educate, elevate, and defend the profession at every level. For more on diagnostics training, professional development, and advancement, please contact us at handsondiagnostics.com or discoverdiagnostics.com. This issue is not just bureaucratic paperwork. It is a fight for the identity, future, and dignity of our profession. And on your practice, your money, we will always tell the truth plainly. We are a profession, we are essential, we are leaders, and we are not backing down. Please make your voice heard. Support the profession, support the future. And remember to subscribe for our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and all major platforms. See you next week. Until then, keep building clinical success and financial freedom. Take care.